Welcome, everyone, and thank you for staying with us for this talk. Before we dive in, please feel free to scan the QR code you can see on the screen. It will be my pleasure to answer your questions at the end of this presentation. Now, imagine this. It is 7 a.m. in the morning on a busy construction site. The workers are ready, the plan is set, and the project is supposed to move today. There's just one problem. A key piece of equipment hasn't arrived. The crew is standing around, waiting. The manager is on the phone, calling the rental company. Every single hours of delay is costing hundreds, maybe thousands of euros. And finally, when someone from the rental company picks up the phone, the only answer they get is, "We're checking, we'll call you back." This scenario might sound dramatic. Unfortunately, it's a daily reality for many rental business companies around the world. Whether it's construction machinery, event equipment, or tool businesses, the rental industry is built on speed, trust, and precision. Client expects things to work smoothly, but too often rental companies are slowed down by outdated processes and uncoordinated systems. And that creates frustration from both sides, the clients and the company itself. Now, let's break down some of the common challenges rental companies face today. The first one, customer. They expect to have clear answers. Do you have this machine available? Can it be delivered by tomorrow? If your team has to check several spreadsheets or to make 5 or 6 phone calls in a row to find out, you risk to lose the deal and the customer's trust. The second point, tracking. Knowing exactly where your equipment is out of rent, in transit, or back to the warehouse can be sometimes a real nightmare. Miscommunication leads to double booking, late returns, and sometimes equipment that just disappears. The third point, one of the most important, equipment management and maintenance. These machines are not just assets, they are real investment. They need regular maintenance to avoid costly breakdowns. But when maintenance records are on paper or registered with multiple systems, things get missed. And breakdowns happen mostly at the worst possible time, when the client needs the machine the most. Money. Rental are not just like this. Adjusting invoices manually takes time and is prone to errors. And chasing unpaid invoices, even more frustrating. Finally, digitization. Many companies are still working without a clear overview of their businesses. Which machines are most profitable? Which clients is the most reliable? Without data, decisions are based on gut feelings, no facts. Each of these challenges are real pain, but together they create a real domino effect. Delay causes frustration. Frustration hurts customer loyalty. Poor visibility impacts cash flows. And the companies struggle to grow. In today's fast-paced world, this simply isn't sustainable. The good news, there's maybe a better way. Now, we have a new solution that will gather many things. In fact, as you know, in Odoo we have multiple settings and multiple applications that are connected together. Just imagine if your sales team know exactly which machine is available, which machines needs to be done in maintenance. That's what Odoo is doing with our industry. So for that, we'll deep in the demo. So now let's meet ReadyTool. ReadyTool is a rental company, and they use Odoo. As you can see here, you have different applications that can serve you for your daily operations. Let's take, for example, the first one of the most important, rental. You can just simply click on this and you will find out a global overview of your daily operations. Quotations, which machines are already reserved, the one that needs to be picked up, and the one that are already returned. On the left side on the screen, you can see different status. For example, you can make a quick filter by clicking on quotations, just like that. Important as well, the invoice status. For example, you are at the end of the month and you need to make the invoices. To do that, you can simply click on To Invoice. and you will find which commands you need to invoice with your customer. So let's make an example, basic flow. To create the quotations, you will click on New, just here. Then you will find your customer. For example, here Ardennes TP routes. Then here you have one very important information, the rental periods. Let's say it's for tomorrow from now until, for example, next Monday. And then you click to apply. Then, the second point, you will need to check about the material which is available. For that, you can click on Catalog, just like that. In here, you have a clear overview of all of your equipment, divided on the left with, for example, the product categories to go a bit smoothly. As well, as you can see in here, for example, you see the number that you have in stock, if they are available or not. So for here, for example, we'll take a simple example. For example, yeah, this one. Great. There are 2 availables on 3. I will click on it. Then, to go back on the quotations, you just have to click in here. OK, great. Now, let's suppose the customer is OK with these quotations, so you will confirm it by clicking on this button. Now, as you can see, our quotation is already a sales order, and the material is booked. Now, let's suppose the customer is taking and making the pickup of these machines. To do that, you will click on Pickup, just like that. Then you will need to validate it to make it out of your stock. Here, there are some informations which are very interesting. The first one, the product name. But you have also the serial number. In fact, the material needs to be followed with serial numbers, so you know exactly which machines is in which place. Then I will click on Validate. By doing this, my machines is no more in my stock. It is in my customer's place, locations. Then I was talking about smooth operations. To do that, you have another application which is very great as well, Inventory. In here, you can see a global overview of every daily operations. The receipts you need to do from your customers, the one that will be stored, and the delivery orders. The good thing is that you can see here different colors, which will help you to organize your work. For example, the red one are the tasks that are late. In orange, it's, for example, the deliveries that you will have to do today. And in green, it will be the future operations. This is really useful. Why? Because you will be able to organize the different operations with your teams if you have different teams and different employees. So now, let's go on the receipt. By clicking on this, I know exactly what I have to do and what is normally supposed to do. And then, for example, taking back here these quotations that I had created. I will make a 2-step receipt. For example, I will have first to validate it. Then, what is important to know for this kind of equipment is the different runtime. In fact, these machines are normally, for the big one, follow with the runtime of our operations. Because then you will make some maintenance based on this daily record runtime. So, to do that, you can simply click on this button, just like that. Here, you will have to take again your product. So I will take my product in here. And the serial number, which is this one. Then you can put, for example, the runtime that normally you're supposed to see on the machine. Let's imagine that you see that there is 125 hours, just like that. And then you can save it. As I said, it's a 2-step receiving. So then you will click here on the Smart button for the next transfer, just like this. In this flow, you will have the possibility to make a quality check, just here. In here, you will have 2 solutions. It's a pass or it's a fail. If you click on pass, so the machine will go back to the stock and it will be again available. If you click on fail, you will see just after that the machine will be in another location. For example, a maintenance location. Let's suppose that this machine is a bit dirty. So you will click here, for example, clean the machine. And then I will make a fail operation. As I said, here we have a failure locations, which is already configured, which is maintenance. And so I confirm in here, and then I will validate my flow by clicking on validate, just like that. Why this flow is very important is because then you will have to deal with the daily operations that concern, for example, a delivery or maybe a maintenance, as I said. We decided to gather everything in one single application, which is the field service one, just here. As you can see, Odoo has just created a task in the field service. So I will go in it. In here, you have different operations, which are quite interesting. The first one is the customer, from which flow it's coming. Then, for example, you can have also the phone number, just to understand maybe why it was dirty or why it was broken. Then you will be able to work with worksheet templates. You have other talks that talk about it, how to build it, but you can do it. Then you can also assign with some other employees, if you have. You can as well plan the dates of this daily task with the allocated time. Then, when we want to have a bit of history of this, you can see that in automatic, we have the serial number that is just taking back, just here, okay? And then, for example, you can also put a description. For example, clean it for Monday. I will register by clicking on the little cloud, just here. Then, let's suppose that this task is just done. So you can click on Mark as done. And then you will have to do what? You will have to transfer again these machines back to your stock. To do that, you can go in Inventory. And then you can click here in the submenu Lots Number. Here you have also a clear overview of your different locations by serial number. The good thing, which is a bit cool, is that in here we can see back all serial number that was in maintenance and so not available for your future quotation. So what I will do is just I will make a basic drag and drop. No need to make an internal transfer or to go in some settings. Just like that, you can make it back to the stock. And again, this machine is now available for any new quotations. That's the good thing. What is important as well about the money is to have the freedom to be able to build some invoices, global invoices. In fact, in this kind of industry, most of the customer makes several businesses for example, 2 or 3 rentals during the month. You don't want, for example, to have one invoice per rental. The good thing is that now you can build some global invoices based on what needs to be invoiced. To do that, you can simply go on Contact here. Let's suppose we will take this one. With the button that you can see on the top left of the screen, you have Consolidated Down Payment. If I click on it, I will generate a draft invoice. In here, you can see that in automatic, Odoo has just taken the different informations, the number of the sale order and the time of the renting, with, in fact, the product just here and the quantity. And so you can confirm it, for example, send it to the customer. The good thing is that you can just clearly globalize every invoice in one single invoice for every quotation. Sorry. So then let's suppose that this client, you just received the bank transfer, so you can click on Pay and create the payment. OK. Now, concerning the maintenance, you can find a specific area where you can manage the different needs of the machines. To do that, we will go back to the field service, just here. In the configurations, you have a submenu which is recurring maintenance rule. In here, you can set the number of hours of runtime for these machines where Odoo will generate a task. For example, for this one, you have a task that will be created with 120 hours. To do that, it is in automatic. It is set to do these automations during the night. So for the needs of these presentations, I will go in the debug mode. To do that, I can make it manually. OK, great. And then I will go in the schedule action. Maintenance. And so I can make it manually, as I said. By doing this, and if I go back in here, you can see that Odoo has automatically set some recurring maintenance plan. And then you will go back and you can see exactly what you will have to do. The only difference with the other task is that in here you have a little checkbox. So you know that this task is made in automatic because of how you set up here the recurring plans. And then you can see that here the customer is yourself to have a traceability about it, as well with the serial number. So let's click on Mark has done as well. As you can see in here, it was very brief in the way that we were doing the things and the different flows. The first thing is that you know exactly which machines are available, the ones that are in stocks and the ones that are in maintenance. You can as well manage the different invoices, and you have the freedom to do it in global. Then you can set up some maintenance plan in automatic, so no need to think about this. That's the good thing with those solutions and this industry. So now, if you have any question, it will be my pleasure to answer it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Antoine, for this presentation. We have one question at the moment. Can it be set as well for other rental businesses?
Yes, in fact, the thing is that it was built for here in the industrial domain. If you look at the different setups that we have made, for example, if you have, for example, a bicycle business where you rent some bicycles or any boats, of course, you can set up as the same. It's exactly the same.
Okay, I'm still waiting that the questions are finished on the pad. Does this industry include additional costs of maintenance?
Yes, in fact, you have different line of code because the thing is that it's not standard. As I've shown you, there is different buttons that needs to be done. So yes, and it will be under 100 lines of code. So yes, it will be an additional payment each month of 60 euros.
Exactly. Is it possible to use barcode?
Yes, well, I would say that yes, but the main thing is that in here we will use, well, maybe I need some more information, but the thing is that you can mainly make it with lot and serial numbers. So if you define your product with lots, well, here, serial number, it's totally okay rather than barcode. It depends about the flow the people want. So maybe some more information about this, so just to check.
Okay, if you have more information, maybe you can come afterwards. Is it possible to have the availability of the material directly via the website?
Well, if you build the website and you make the rental, I would say yes, because you can see here a quotation is a sale just after. So if you see that the machines are available on a basic sales order, so you can maybe set up when you want to make the renting quotations online. So I would say yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if that's the last question or not.
Okay.
Maybe we'll wait for 2 seconds to see if the sentence is finished. But I think that's it. So thank you very much, Antoine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.